All right. So this is the first full sheet of marine plywood laid down. Let's get a quick little walk on this and see what the edges look like. Not bad, not bad. And up front here, we will make a piece of wood that bonds between the stringers underneath. It'll probably be likely a 4-inch piece of 3/4 inch plywood, centered half, and we'll draw screws, maybe whatever, equal on this side, same thing on that, and then that'll kind of help hold this corner down a little bit. The edge, this little custom contour, you can see made a big difference by using those popsicle sticks. Otherwise we wouldn't have been able to capture that angle. Let's also observe our gap here. Looks pretty good. Yeah, pretty impressed so far. Slide over here. Take a look. Yeah. I'd say that was a pretty good cut, right? You think you could have done that without popsicle sticks? I don't know, maybe. But I learned the first time I did this, don't just make a random cut and think it's going to be one shape, one square shape, because you can see here, I mean, it goes, there's all kinds of weird little contours in here. I guess if you were just building the boat initially, probably wouldn't have all these lips. You'd probably go through I'd say like 2 or 3 grinding wheels to get all that off, and it doesn't affect all of it. Like here it's not seen, and then once you get over on this side you can really kind of tell there's a lot there. I've actually ground that off on a prior project, and it takes a while to do this whole length like that. It would have been quite some time, but anyway, we just go with the contour. It came out really nice. So what are we going to do next? You can see we've got enough to do another sheet, and as we're waiting to get the fuel cell put back in here, that's a whole nother discussion we'll talk about. We do have enough room to throw in another sheet here, so what I'll do is repeat exactly like we did here. We'll measure 4 feet that way on both sides of the stringers, and we'll use our popsicle sticks. The center looks a little bit more square than kind of towards the ends. The center of the boat looks pretty straight. We may be able to use a straight edge on that. I don't know, we'll look. I'm going to still use the popsicle sticks just because it's easier, and I'll actually keep the same popsicle sticks before and just see how the contour looks. It may be similar, I don't know. So anyway, let's go ahead and measure out just like we did on this this sheet of marine grade. This is Hydrotech 2, by the way, if you're wondering what we got in store today. Marine grade Hydrotech. So anyway, let's go ahead and measure out 4 feet, see where we get. All right, so I actually measured 4 feet out, and it actually takes us into the bilge area. You can see where that piece of pine is. So that's going to be pretty interesting. What we're actually going to do is we're going to cut our 4-foot sheet just like we normally would. We'll make the appropriate cuts along the edge just like we did with the forward left side and forward right side. Yep, we'll make that specific contour along this edge. But this one's going to be kind of tricky because once we get to, well, we're going to lay it in first, and I'll do one of two things. I'll either form it exactly how it's supposed to be, and then I'll come under here with a pencil and trace it out. Maybe the best thing to do, because I do have enough room to come underneath and maybe draw it out, draw exactly where the edges are. May do that, and then come at it with a jigsaw, something like that. We'll have to see how it comes out, but that's going to be the plan. Start off with the full sheet, and I'm kind of excited because after that, if you look, according to where the pine is, we'll just make a little cut sheet over there. I don't know, what is that, like 3 feet by maybe 2? And then another one over here, 3 foot by 2, and that's it. And we got this thing ready to rock and roll. I'm kind of excited. Once the floor comes in play and you get the floor installed, you're really going to see this project just completely kick off. The only other little challenge we're going to have is up front, where we bond the upper side of the boat, where we cut all that gel coat off around there. That's going to be fun. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be a really fun episode, because let me hop on here real quick. Check this out. I'm going to grab here and watch this. See, that all flexes. So we got to make that where it doesn't flex anymore. And towards the edge over there, it's going to be there's a lot of high spots, so we're not going to be able to use the peanut butter quite like you think you would. And that epoxy thickening agent will only go up so thick, and in certain spots, like in the back, you'll have to go it's almost like 1.5 inches, like right there. Yeah, it's going to be quite a lot. So likely we're going to have a really fun episode when we get to that piece, so stay tuned. Anyway, let's go ahead now and let's get that glue gun out. Check these. That's the right side and left side. Let's see how straight it is. It may be pretty straight, but we'll just make sure here. Okay, so take a look here. This is kind of what I was expecting. It is pretty well square along the edge. You'll see how I put that piece of pine there, and then I also have the original left side, and let's take that out. This kind of shows you what kind of contour difference we had compared to the front. And you can see here, I mean, see if I can hold it just right. Yeah, but anyway, you can see it's a big difference in gap. So what I'll do, the left side looks like it's going to be pretty straight, so I'm going to leave that alone. Let's go take a look at the right side. Okay. And this was the custom cut for the right side. And you can see, yeah, there's a major difference on that side. Let's go get the board. Let's see how this looks in comparison. I'm going to say this is pretty straight. I probably won't get this lucky on the back, but it's okay. So keep that in mind as you're using various methods to determine what the correct angle is. Yeah, in my case, I'm gonna get lucky on this one. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna we'll take off the distance from whatever this side is to that, so it's the exact length for the starting piece. And then we'll measure our 4 feet out. We'll use a laser measuring device and shoot a line right across that pine piece. Figure out exactly how far this is going to be on the ends over here. And then last but not least, we're going to put the wood in first, but then once we make sure everything fits perfectly, then I'll come back and we'll cut that little bilge area out. And then after that, hopefully we can get these 2 pieces on the end done, and that's it. And I'm excited to get to that point, like I said, because once the flooring's installed, we'll talk about how we're going to put foam underneath the floor, what kind of foam I'm going to be using. You'll have a good idea about that, as well as we'll finally be able to start working on getting the motor installed. So that'll be neat too. Okay, another sheet down, looking good. Edges are nice and straight. No issues there, just as I imagined. Not much difference. I'm really digging the Hydrotech stickers there. I probably am going to leave that exposed ever sell the boat for whatever reason, you'll be able to see that there's top-notch plywood on this thing. Anyway, enough about the plywood. Let's talk about what we're going to do next here, which is work on this cutout piece inside here. Now that I know I've got everything butted up real good, like you can see there, I'll go up underneath and mark, or I may take some measurements. I could probably do that just the same using a tape measure. It would likely be more square if I were to do that. I'll take my tape measure, measure how deep it is there, where the termination point is. Come over here, do the same. And this way it'll give us more of a precision cut. And then I'll probably take another measurement here in the center just to make sure everything looks good. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll take this piece of plywood back out and get it cut as it's supposed to. Okay, so you can see the little cutout there. I think that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where we finish up all the flooring. We still got a little more to do in terms of actually fastening it to the stringers, making some marks so we can see where the stringers are, so we can drill, seeing the steel screws in place. So I hope you liked the episode. As always, subscribe, like the video if you thought it was helpful, leave some comments, and we'll catch up on the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.